why their stock was through the roof last year, right? From exactly that lane.
And that makes me believe that, because we've seen Damwon do this a lot, just put an incredible high amount of priority on Kellen on specifically the engage support, because he's been put on Nautilus duty a lot as well, and so does the Leona. So might be something that is happening in scrims where this works out the best, most successful for them. And oh boy, okay, Renekton,
Caitlyn.
No, it's going to be Felix's first pick. It has to be.
It can't be.
I feel like it should be Caitlyn. But
It
after
should,
that previous game,
but after the first game,
true. I know.
yeah,
I think Caitlyn is the safest / correct choice here.
I believe so too.
And I think that's what they will go for. But I would not be shocked.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
that's a different perspective. And Renekton is going to be first pick. This is something that we've seen punished time and time again. T1 can now go towards Caitlyn Lux if they want to. And Karma is available as well. Kate Karma could come in. That sounds even worse.
Yeah.
Or better, depending on which side of the coin you're on. Yeah. And that is exactly what we're going to see. And yes, Keria had a rough game on Caitlyn last time, but that was, on the Karma last time, but that was into Caitlyn. This time, Caitlyn's on his team.
If Senna Kench gets locked in here, I don't know what I'd do, but I'd be very unhappy.
Well, there'll be certain people in a Reddit thread that might be happy with the result of that one, but no, it's going to be the Jhin. Can use a Damwon skin, which is kind of cool, and that is going to be Kellen on his Yuumi. So they're going to use that to try and mitigate this lane. Good luck to them.
I am not the biggest fan. I think that you are going to get shoved in so hard as the Damwon Kia bot lane here. And with Canyon being drawn towards the top side where your Renekton is, I don't know if this is the way. I have personally been a bigger fan of lanes that can at least match the shove. If you want to keep it more traditional, you can go for something like the Sivir that can really easily and reliably clear waves, especially if you go for a lethality build. But you can go weirder than that. Think about champions like Heimerdinger combined with a Senna, at least something that can withstand the early pressure that Gumayusi and Keria are going to put on. But now T1, that is an amount of early and laning pressure, and provided how game number 2 went, I'd be very, very scared if I was a Damwon Kia fan right now.
No, I would too. Diana going to be banned away, potentially a Nidalee ban as well. Of course, Canyon has a skin on that champion, so likely that one is going to hit the bench, even though Renekton Nidalee has fallen out of favor so far. Damwon, what do they focus on? I think mid lane is likely a place, and Ryze is going to get banned. T1 fans everywhere say thank you.
Rejoice.
Yes.
As the Ryze gets taken away. Not too sure about that one, and 41 can go for, there you go, can go for a relatively expected pick up something like save mid laner here. The Victor is still open, would be completely fine. You can go with Azir if it doesn't get banned away. One of the two will remain open, right? Victor or Azir, just go that for Faker. A pick that works into basically any team comp, can play into anything and be completely fine. And then Damwon Kia, I don't know what they're going to pull out here. It's the Vex that gets banned instead, which I respect, but I don't know what you're going to find here on B4, B5, but it needs to be something something genius, because if it's just, say, a Xin Zhao with, I don't know, maybe a Syndra, like, I'm not going to be convinced. I don't think that you're going to be able to withstand the pressure. They're not even going to be available.
It'll be Lilia Zed. That's what we'll get. Blind pick Zed, I think, is definitely the way to play it here. No, it's definitely a difficult choice. Gwen going to be considered, and this is actually something I believe was played in the LEC. I think it might have been Selfmade that played the Gwen jungle, potentially. Could, of course, be Renekton in the mid lane, as we know, can definitely go there. So it's not going to be putting Gwen guaranteed in the jungle, but could still be an option. As Damwon Kia, what are they going to round this one out with?
Watch it be Faker on Karma and mid, and they pick the Lux here. As T1. I need to see something that Canyon can carry with. It can be a hacker in, something that synergizes well with the Yuumi. A Talon would be an opportunity. Wait,
it's going to be Gwen jungle.
Oh boy.
Look at that. Sometimes Atlas gets it right.
Birdo Irelia.
Yeah.
That's the pick.
I chose the right time to like randomly watch LEC last night.
Good for you, Atlas. I didn't. I like it. I like it a lot.
And this is Faker's LeBlanc, so that's going to be locked in as the R5. T1 have a lot of poke, like an obscene amount of poke, but this is the Gwen jungle for Canyon. This is Showmaker's Aurelia or his Renekton. Of course, Bertle loves Aurelia. His Aurelia, when he debuted, was the reason why we were excited about this player.
It's got to be.
And it's into Jace. Like, as far as lanes are concerned, yes, Renekton's not going to have the greatest of times, but Aurelia into Jace is one of the good ones if you're a Damwon fan. However, if you're a T1 fan, don't worry, just look at the bottom lane. You're fine. You're A-okay. Everything's absolutely just the most fine.
In addition to that, I don't think the Gwen can withstand the early pressure, and I'm worried that Damwon Kia are going to have exactly the same thing happen to them. If they can get into the mid-game on relatively even footing, once you start finding skirmishes with Yuumi, with this comp, if you get into the backline ever, if you ever find a flank, if, God forbid, they get Hextech Rift, Damwon Kia are going to have a great time. But the problem is, if you look at the lanes, I think that T1 have the opportunity to do exactly the same thing. They're going to have Fryo in mid, they're going to have Fryo in bot lane, and you're going to have Owner on a much stronger early game jungler. So overall, the opportunity for T1 to do the trick that they did in game number 2, but now even worse, because come on, it's Caitlyn, Karma, Atlas.
These are two champions that should always be banned. Unfortunately, on the red side, you also need to ban, what, TF and Corki and all sorts of stuff, and then you can't first pick 5 champions at once. It's a little bit rough as Canyon going to make his way out on the debut of Gwen Jungle for this particular season in the LCK. And if Damwon does win, we'll have a big thank you to the LEC. As T1 here towards the top side, wanting to end the game as soon as they possibly can. And Canyon does manage to dash his way out.
He says no thank you. Really going to look at the rune choices here. Expecting, especially for Showmaker, a lot of focus on sustain. Has already picked up the golden shield, and would not be surprised if we see the addition of things like the second wind in an attempt to just scale and wave clear. And then once the skirmishes come around, that's where you excel. And yeah, indeed, do see that come through here.
Well, this would be a way of changing how the lane goes, as Owner is not going to take this route. And Canyon will spot him when he wanders over here as, okay, Blast Cone, and...
Oh, what he can do, he can single-handedly get the Raptors, get those. Gwen does him exceptionally fast, although he has gone for E.
Yeah, it's the E first so that he can avoid the early gank, but...
Might just try and go for a cheeky smite steal as well. Yeah. That's going to be it. He's going to flip it.
This is just the most sneaky.
Oh my god.
Well,
he doesn't know.
He doesn't know. Owner's taking a lot of damage here.
Oh, doesn't check.
Oh, everyone's so scared. He steals it away in Canyon. I mean, if there's one way to become an early game jungler, the snip comes in. There it is. And first blood to Canyon.
Canyon said last time around in the Jarvan, I had to do all the heavy lifting. If that's going to happen again, I'm going to start early.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's disaster. That is. Oh, he's level 1.
Yeah. Well, that's how you win the early game as Gwen Jungle. Everyone, just do that in your solo queue games, I guess. As we're gonna have a look at the pro view. Stone cold. Stone cold. Got him. Got him. I think he just said got it on the red buff and then said got him when he got the kill.
You think the polar bear would show emotion, but he does not, because this is just a regular day for him.
Exactly. Well, it's a regular day for Zeus as well here towards the top side as he shoves this first few waves towards this turret. As Bertle not going to be off the ground too quickly on the Aurelia. Things definitely get better in this matchup, but not at the very beginning. As, yeah, LeBlanc into Renekton, pretty good. As, yeah, this is what we're expecting, right? Like, the fact that the lanes are so good for T1 meant that we looked at this draft and we were like, Damwon, how do you do it? But now that Canyon skewed things, we'll see how that actually affects how this game goes, as Faker is going to put the crocodile on a leash. It's an interesting pet decision. I
A risky
personally would not recommend it.
No.
As an Australian, we have a bit of experience when it comes to crocodiles. Not great pets.
Shocking revelation.
Yep.
I'm glad you're able to share that knowledge.
Well, yeah, I feel like I have a duty.
A responsibility.
Yeah. Because I hear that people in America have some knowledge of alligators, crocodiles, a little bit different.
Apex predators.
Yeah.
Truly
Dinosaurs.
Creatures. Yeah. As expected, Caitlyn and Karma have the shove, are up a good 2 waves and almost have the first plate, which is not shocking, but does say a lot. For Damwon, I think that even if you do win this game, I think you need to go back and look at these drafts and kind of reevaluate how a lot of these choices were made, because I think teams like T1 are simply too good to just say, okay, we just forfeit all prio. And it's not something that I think Damwon used to do, and you'll do it all to pick up the Renekton, right?
Yeah.
And that is something that, to me, to have that pay off, I need to see some hard forces on early to mid-game objectives, and I need to see some skirmishes, because otherwise, this pick's just not going to work out, as I don't know how close Bertle is to 6, but...
Oh, that's a flash in from Showmaker. The Ignite is on as well as he picks the right Faker and gets the solo kill. So maybe, is that what you meant? Is that what you meant?
That's what I meant, Atlas. Apex Predator, unchanged by evolution for so many years because he doesn't need to change. He is the crocodile, and he will get his prey.
What is this, National Geographic? Like, what's happened to this
Crocodiles
broadcast?
are really cool creatures, okay?
And do you know what this did? This got Damwon to even in gold. As this is...
Vida 싸우는 중.
Oh, man. Fighting in mid.
밀어주라.
Got the kill. Push the wave. All good. It's still all business here for Damwon.
That's how you salvage the lane state, is just kill them.
Yeah.
It's not a plan that I think should be your standard affair, but it is very telling. As Bertle not 6 yet.
Nope. And he's going to get booped back, so he doesn't get any W value either. Nicely done there for Zeus, who has been really keeping this top lane on lockdown. I think a lot of the questions when it comes to Zeus versus Bertle are being answered this series, regardless of the outcome of this game, right? It doesn't really matter. I think that the laning phase has been Zeus the whole time.
I don't think, although to be fair, I think that this matchup early on is very Jay's favorite. It's not until the ultimate becomes available.
Faker really wants to take the Crocodile for a walk. I think he took what I said seriously.
Yeah.
And was like, no, I think crocodiles are great pets.
Yeah, but Showmaker has Merc, so he doesn't care as much. But I want to reiterate, I think that Zeus has been the better top laner for the entirety of the series. Just specifically this matchup, I think really changes once the ultimate becomes available, because at that point, it's either a stun or a good Vanguard attach, right? As Showmaker.
Yeah, a lot of damage there with the Q. As Faker just trying to keep him as low as possible, getting the Dominus. Certainly going to be helping out here as Canyon has the most gold in the game. Out farming by a considerable margin right now as the Q is going to miss there from Carrier, but Damwon Kia are just not able to enter this lane on the bottom side.
Oh. Also note here the build that Kane is going. It's fine.
Okay, yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Zoomies exist, my bad. Oh dear. Ona only level 5, as that is not the welcome that you want. Flash immediately going to be employed here. Showmaker not quite able to find the stun to lock him down, but that's getting a flash and getting Ona out of the picture completely.
As I was saying, the cool thing here is that Kane is actually going for the Nashers first, where it used to be basically the standard itemization on Gwen, or at the very least second, has of course been kind of dropped.
Bouncing grenade does a fair bit of work there as Carrier has been lit on fire. The cat got a little bit upset, and Carrier's just going to use this as an opportunity to clear vision. Health bars in advantage here for Damwon, but the Qs are going to start raining through, and look at that. Immediately, exactly what I was saying has been mitigated entirely. The W does come down. That is so many plates, man.
Yeah. Imagine the state of this game if you didn't pick Jhin and Yuumi into Caitlyn Karma, because it would be completely different. Honestly, like, we keep going back to it because it is straight up something that you should not be allowed to do, and you're not, right? Like, as the dive might come through here, Doctor Arm almost 6, but not quite yet.
Yeah, Kumiyushi down to 200, but Ona's going to walk his way in. And the zoomies come down as well. Guma was tanking the turret as there's the deadly flourish, but only gets the shield. Good inspire as Faker's going to come down as well. He's like, all right, well, do I have to help out? He should be able to here as he dashes on over, finds the turret, and finds a Doctor as well as he will get taken down. Damwon Kia are going to try and return the favor in the mid lane as this is one very sad cat on a book with absolutely nowhere to go. No teammates, no nothing, and that's a double kill for Faker.
Wonder whether that's going to be worth it as Damwon Kia is answering with a first turret blood. Birdle!
Yeah, that's the stun onto Zeus. Gets the to the skies as well as the Vanguard's Edge comes in. A bit of a confusing situation there as he gets himself the stacks, and that is going to be the solo kill top lane as well, and another charge to come in with Shelly at the same time. Damwon, they've come into this game to play and they're 1,000 gold in the lead.
Well, this is all Damwon. Sack bot lane, play for the rest of the map.
Yeah, they were like, I remember how we won Worlds. This is how we did. We didn't care about those bottom lane guys. Doctor, yeah, you're pretty good, but not this time.
Good luck as the Aurelia pick working out there. As mentioned previously, it's a single stun is generally all it takes, and Birdle now with the solo kill, that's a really big one. And going back to this, again, it is good that T1 is able to pick up both these kills, but the key issue is with the plates, more people means you get through the plates much, much slower. And while you're able to pick up the double kill here, I think that giving up first turbo kind of offsets that. And that would have still been fine, I think, for T1. It's a worthwhile trade if this didn't happen.
Yeah, this top lane also going absolutely away from Zeus. And this was sort of the used by date hit, right? From the Jace. Sort of just how this one works. We mentioned it earlier on, Aurelias have done this over and over again in the LCKs. T1 do grab a couple of plates here in the mid lane. And if we go back to the gold, it's only 1,000. Nothing to get too concerned about right here. And Damwon need to keep up the pressure. T1 have a much more standard composition. And Damwon need to just keep making this Gwen and the Renekton work. This is an Ignite Renekton, right? Like, if you don't have big leads, what are you doing?
Yeah, and this Drake is being taken with full knowledge. Damwon Kia saying, it's a Cloud Drake, we don't really care.
Yep.
And with the skirmishing power that they have available to them, I think that there is still a fair amount of time before the point is hit where we're really starting to get worried. Because with T1's comp, as long as they can maintain their distance, they're always going to have an edge on Damwon Kia. And then it comes down to how are the flanks? Because if at any point either the Aurelia or the Renekton or even the Gwen finds their way on top of your backline with a Yuumi, a Canyon that's this far ahead, you are not getting away. But the problem again is that the sacrifice that Damwon Kia has made for all of this,
well, once again, Faker was trying to walk the crocodile as we've got a final chapter and a very dead Jace. It's in fact the Yuumi that picks up the kill, and this is what T1 fans should be scared of. The Canyon and Kellen combo on the top side of the map, or anywhere, to be honest. Carrier now looking for Doctor, who has to flash, and he's in between two turrets and still not safe. Point blank ult from Gumayushi, I love it. That's how you assert your dominance is here on the bottom, in the mid lane. It's Birdle trying to dash this one out. Flashes a few times, but Ona's like, well, you can just dash around all you want. You're still dead. And he definitely was. This tower also not long for the world.
And there's the double-edged blade. That is Birdle. Sometimes he hits, sometimes he doesn't. This time around, the trap is ready. That's the risk that you take with a teleport. Caitlyn can very easily deal with those. Meanwhile, though, Kenyon's getting more fed. So
yeah.
Do with that what you will, and this is starting to feel and evolve into a more solo Q-esque-ian game that we have on our hands here.
But it does benefit the team with a whole bunch of solo Q-esque champions, like, for example, Prowler's Claw, Renekton, Ignite mid.
Yes.
You know, like that's basically the epitome. As this was, not the right brush toward. But this was also really nicely played from T1. The answering consistently here as we get the full zoom in.
Oh, this trap from Guma. And everything about this. Guma putting down the trap. Owner who's able to charge his knock-up, who otherwise definitely would have died there.
The Ignite even, denying Birdle any sort of lifesteal or health back, also very important.
Yeah, this is Showmaker and Canyon in their promos, and Callan's trying his best, you know.
Exactly.
And like the bot lane is not doing well. You knew it in Champ Select, but you don't care. You just got to pull through. And if there's anyone who can do it, it's Canyon. supposedly, but into the T1 comp, like.
I mean, Canyon on this Gwen with the cat. I think that's the X factor, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what Damwon fans are thinking about. They're like, well, look at this. This is what this comp is supposed to do. You know, you're supposed to continue that skirmish play. As the chain is going to miss their bottom side, but Jonas Strong wants nothing to do with it. Bertel looking to chase after Zeus. Owner trying to run away as well, as there is a very angry Scissor Lady moving her way up here. The Prowler's Claw will connect, and Zeus is once again just stripped of his life. As Showmaker does have the Dominus popped, it isn't going to be able to do anything more. Very even is that mid lane matchup, but as you can see, T1 once again finding themselves these objectives around this map, continuing to stay very competitive when it comes to the gold, and they just need to bide their time.
Because I think in the late game, like, yes, anything can happen, but the key thing here is that even with the Yuumi, I have a hard time seeing Canyon actually consistently get into this enemy backline when summoners are available, right? There's a Karma Shield, there's all the mobility that Faker has available, Owner can zone, Zeus can knock back, and Caitlyn is relatively slippery for an AD carry. So I think that you're going to have such a hard time, and the only redeeming factor is that it's Damwon Kia, and I'm like, well, they will probably all jump in at exactly the same time and blow someone up and somehow find an angle. But if T1 plays cleanly, as they did in game number 1, if they maintain perfect coverage of their flanks, I think it should be their game to win still.
Yeah. Well, this was almost Zeus having an even worse time there towards the top side, but Canyon noted that there were a few camps left remaining in the enemy jungle, so he steals that one away. Yeah, exactly. His Riftmaker is on the way as well, has that Leeching Lair already done. But like you were talking about, it is once again the natural start, as he has a huge gold lead, but it's answered by Gumayusi. Like, the Caitlyn was the big benefactor, and we saw that already. We knew that was going to happen. The Caitlyn Karma did exactly what it said on the tin. And the question is, what's going to be more important? A giga-fed Gwen from the jungle with a cat, or a Caitlyn with a whole lot of shields and all that good stuff, as Kerry are now going to have to flash, get out of the way. Bertel in position as well. Needleworks coming in. Good plus going for the disengage, as Canyon's going to get back to work on his jungle, which is absolutely what he wants.
And it might actually be a Hextech Drake. And I think for Damwon Kia, that is so big. Because if this backline threat can actually be found, then it completely changes how their composition works. Especially considering they're going to give up 2 Drakes, including an Infernal, because they have no reign over the bot side of the map. You know, they have no power there.
Yeah,
not even remotely. And this is one of the most split maps I've seen in a long time. Well, it's very obvious which team is strong there.
Yes, exactly right. But, I mean, this plays into what Damwon's game plan is, right? Like, they need to get gold. They need to get a huge snowball rolling very early in this game, as it is going to be that Hextech Rift like you were talking about. And it looks like Damwon not going to be able to get this inhibitor turret just yet. But still, that is very optimistic to be able to grab that one. And they hold on to a very slim gold advantage. Showmaker holds on to this minion wave here on the bottom side. I still, like, it's very hard to work out whether or not Damwon have done enough, right?
I don't think they have. But I can still see them win the game, right? Like, that's where I'm at right now, Atlas.
I think that's what I kind of meant, right? Like, it's, can they do it? Have they done things like this in the past? Yes. Can they do it to this iteration of T1? Not so sure.
What's Hextech Rift? Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. They knew this. They were aware.
Oh, man. It does make it a bit spicy. And T1 can also utilize it, especially if they get some control of this map, right? Like, the extra mobility there, as Chain is not going to connect onto Bertel.
Well, yeah, but if one comp has lethality, Prowler's Connect.
Yeah, right. No, I agree.
Gwen and Aurelia.
We're trying to give a bit of a chance here, as Bertel is going to dive onto Faker. And yes, he is going to be able to find the Everfrost, as Faker just, the mind games, gets an ult out from Kellen.
Canyon don't cap.
No, he doesn't.
Still going. Pretty clean.
Straight up doesn't, as Faker's going to come back. Lands the chain, dash goes over the wall. Faker doesn't have the Mimic available just yet, as Gumayusi has finally gotten ahead of Canyon by 1 gold. As of that graph, still definitely good news here for T1, because he is... It's so important for a Caitlyn to get ahead. We've said it so many times, but it is only more the point here in this one.
Yeah, this is for Damwon. Like, it's 1-3-1, it's chaos, it's picks. If you try to play this one straight up, I think it doesn't end well for you. Because you don't actually have engage. You have dive, and the dive is great. But if T1 knows where you're coming from, then you're never really going to have any semblance of control. And I think that barring a cheeky Elder take, which can definitely happen between Gwen and a Yuumi, that is not a problem whatsoever, or Birdle coming up super huge in these team fights, I am very skeptical of Damwon's chances to play this one out, right? Like T1, they have the range, they have the mobility, they have the kite back. Just need to make it work.
Stun on Zeus as the Vanguard's Edge comes in, teleport comes down as well as Birdle deals with the rest of the minions, and Faker is going to come in potentially a little bit late, but does have the passive fully stacked up. Faker comes back and gets the slow as well. Birdle just going to get ran around the rosy, and this is some vintage Faker LeBlanc today.
No cooldowns available there for Birdle, but
I don't think the smart money's on you in this particular 1v1. But he's still going to look for it. Understands that a few of those bullets went back, and Faker, Canyon's going to come in here. Deadly Flourish comes down. Faker's trying to do it, but it's not going to work. The funny business will eventually run out. But T1, they're utilizing this time. They're pushing this mid lane, and that is more money onto Gumayusi.
And on Canyon! Who can carry harder? That's the question of this game. Honestly, I don't know. This game is quickly devolving into a highly mechanical, yes, but also questionable cleanliness of gameplay of what we're seeing here. A lot coming
very
together.
Carefully stated there, Chronicler. I like it a lot. As Canyon dashes on over, the Grom is just too tasty. As Docdom doesn't walk that quickly. He's only got some brown bags, but Zeus is interested in these minions, trying to catch up.
There's the Ghost Blade. Right on time, the Showmaker.
Yep, there it is. Ghost Blade, Prowler's Claw. Oh, that is a Renekton build.
I haven't seen that one in a while.
No.
The Prowler's Renekton as Birdle again showing that even with the flashover, no dice there, unfortunately, and then trying desperately to kind of stall as long as possible, but especially without a stun available, not really going to be able to do anything in that 1v1.
Yeah, Prowlin is Showmaker. Zeus does not want to be in melee range of this Crocodile, but Birdle now trying to dive on in, and Showmaker, how nice of him, waits for Birdle to get an assist.
Not even close, baby. We got him.
That was very close.
No, if you needed to see a difference between the Prowler's Claw Renekton and the Ghoul Drinker Sterix variety, right there, almost got 100-0, but it doesn't matter. Nothing to see there. Very, very clean. And now the Hextech Drake going to go over to Damwon Kia. That's a really big one. Meanwhile, Docdom is off somewhere on Summoner's Rift. Also,
I mean, he's trying. He's trying to be relevant.
Supposedly playing the game.
Scouts report that he is still there.
Yeah.
No, this Jhin has been 100% sacrificed to the Gwen gods. It's just not really. This is not his game.
It's a situation where, like, we got Gwen fed, but what did it cost?
Yeah.
Every Jhin.
Yeah, exactly.
I still feel like, despite all these shenanigans, we need to see more from Damwon, right? We need to see...
They just need to keep making plays consistently.
Yeah,
right?
like never
the
let
chaos needs to reign supreme. And as soon as there's any semblance of stability on this map, T1 will be the winners, right? That is just how it works.
This is Kenyon's jungle.
Yes. Yeah. Every part with brushes in it is his, as Prowler's Claw is going to find owner.
Everywhere the eye reaches.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, there is a Yuumi.
Yeah, I don't even think the Elephant Graveyard exists in this one. As Canyon wants his Bramble back, but knows that Faker's in the area. Showmaker's going to turn up as well, as Birdle is also here. Faker will come over and look to try and see whether they're doing this Baron. And he will get the news that they are indeed doing Baron. Or his chain just did a third of its health bar. And look at Canyon rip this thing apart. Birdle as well doing so much work as Ona does have Flash. There's a Blast Cone. Are they going to flip it? Are they going to flip it again? As in they go. It is the Gwen that locks it down. Now Ona immediately just dies. Showmaker as well had pre-popped the ultimate, trying to get that work done as the curtains have been called as well. Carrier in trouble, but of course they're jungle camps to be taken, and Canyon doesn't want to kill a Karma if there is a chicken camp there available for it.
It's not a flip if you always win the smite, Atlas. I'm pretty sure that's the call from Canyon right there. As they steal away the Baron, that might have been the break that they needed. Because without this Baron, you siege extremely poorly with this composition, but with the buff, the kill threat comes through. I can hear Lahen's cackle somewhere in the background.
Yes, there is indeed one of those. As Bertel throws out an ultimate and his life at the same time. Damwon Kia going to take an inhibitor and then run the heck away from this one as Faker, teleporting in with the rest of his team. Zayas there as well as Ona. Might have found himself just left on his own. Some decent CC, but they're just watching. Canyon's going to be able to take him down as the Needlework's coming forward as well. It is going to be the Gwen falling as Showmaker just pops the Caitlyn, but will have to sacrifice himself as Top Down finally gets a cat. But he is not the carry in this game, and T1 tidy it up.
I don't really know about that one, Atlas from Damwon Kia. I don't feel like that was a necessity right there as T1 go for the deep flank.
The shutdown gold there is actually so relevant as well. They just got so much money from both Showmaker and Canyon.
And also Baron buff is now gone.
Yeah, that's true too.
Again, Canyon doesn't lose these, I guess. Is it the right call?
Well, if you live and die by the coin, it is the right call.
And I think with this composition you honestly do. And here we see the problem for Birdle as he dashes forward in a chain, and rather already chained, and then dies. And then the real issue is that with him dead, this composition from Damwon Kia has no choice but to go forward, right? If you go back, you get corralled as well. Although I honestly take my chances with the 5v4 as opposed to running into 2 Nexus turrets. That's me.
Yeah, that was an odd choice.
Yeah. Also, Showmaker showing again, he is definitely deadly.
It's a drive-by crocodile and then off the edge of a pier.
Not very tanky.
Yeah.
Not a lot of Yumi value right there. End of the day, has anything really changed? The base is open.
Yes,
an inhibitor is down, and next Drake probably goes to Damwon. And honestly, if there are champions that love attack speed, I think both Birdo and Canyon are going to be very happy with that. But this game is quickly...
Yeah, well, Gumushi is going to go for a bit of a reset here. I think slide issue once again, plaguing a few of these PCs right now. Just CPU mode for a small amount of time. Cameraman getting into position to make sure that we can get those shots onto Gumushi. As G-Sun will let us know what's going on here. Gumushi's like, Renekton built a Prowler's Claw? I think there's a visual bug. This is very strange.
It used to be done, but I think it was abandoned with good reason.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, it's just one of those epically feast or famine type situations, and Showmaker's like, this is my angle. I will make it happen. But it's as a game 3 choice versus T1 in this one is just really, really fun.
And we joked a lot about, and I think justifiably so, but what we're actually seeing here from Damwon Kia is really showing that the way that a lot of games play out is also by both teams deciding that going for crazy plays all across the map is not really worth it, right? Like, preferably, if you have a cleaner way of playing out the game, you'd really like to do so. Instead, Damwon Kia, by continuously applying pressure, continuously looking for plays, always on the offensive, like both in terms of build, in terms of itemization, literally Canyon stealing above level 1, does actually make it really hard for T1 to get into the position, because for them to feel comfortable, they need some control, and you can't wrangle a crocodile and like try and get that control, because you know he's trying to bite you, and you need to find a way to calm him down, but he's not calming down.
Yeah.
And the key thing here is again the Hextech Rift that means that T1, much more so than they otherwise would be, isn't even safe.
Canyon? Okay, that is another ult to come out there. Gale Force is going to be invested. They knew that Gumushi did not have his flash available, and now Canyon has pushed them all the way up here. The siege, like you were talking about, not great. As Damwon do a bit of work to this inhibitor turret, and T1 are like, no, not without Baron, gentlemen. That is not allowed.
Key thing here is that it allows them to get the Drake, right? As they shove out, should now be able to just get themselves a 3-second Drake, and the early stacks from T1 working out nicely, but if it ends up being 4 Hextech Drakes to this Damwon Kia comp, That's not good. That's a Gwen and Aurelia with infinite
and a
attack
Jhin. Wait, hang on. A
ability.
Jhin isn't in this game. Never mind, I forgot. He's been Flame Horizoned at 26.5 minutes, and that is not really an indication of Dokdam as a player necessarily, more the fact that he's been 100% sacrificed for the good of Damwon Kia in this game. And yes, Gumayusi played exceptionally well. Ona's going to be able to grab a few of these wolves as well, as Canyon relinquishes a camp or two of his gigantic, sprawling jungle that he owns throughout all of Summoner's Rift.
And while all of this is happening, the gold lead is also not one that...
No, it's... Like, after those the shutdowns came in, T1 was just straight back in it, and that Baron meant absolutely nothing.
It did not. And now I'm wondering, again, I think that if T1 can ever regain composure in this game, the inhibitor comes back up in about a minute, and they can actually set up for an objective. It's still going to be execution-based. There is still plenty of opportunity for Damwon Kia to get enough done. But the Canyon factor combined with the Yuumi makes me hesitant to call this game until like I see either Nexus fall. Honestly, no idea.
Yeah, no, it's a toughie. As we've got a ward on the Hex Gate. Definitely a good idea, but all of this vision is there for T1, you can see. Still remains in this area as Dokdam, Deadly Flourish farming. And Showmaker just trying to sweep out this vision where he can. Couple of control wards. Faker over the wall, wants to take his Crocodile for a walk yet again, as, yeah, Showmaker just takes a Q and a Distortion and has to eat all of the Honey Fruit, as Canyon lying in wait with his cat available, as Showmaker gonna get stunned up yet again. It's a very nice Shock Blast as well from Zeus. As we say this, Canyon still here, waiting for Gumayusi to come on over.
That's who you want, but he does have both summoners available, and yeah, I don't think this angle is going to work out, especially with Showmaker having to back, so Canyon abandons post.
Yep.
And I think we're going to have this awkward fight here, Canyon.
That's the dash. He goes into the mist as the chains are going to register as well. Wind becomes lightning, not quite enough range there on that one. As that Deadly Flourish, very, very nice. As Faker will be able to find Bertle. He has to flash to get himself out of the way. It's another ult to come through from Showmaker as we've got bullets flying everywhere. The cat pops out just to soak the ace in the hole. And Damwon now running it up the mid lane as T1 have their eyes on Baron as Faker. Oh, if he had to land into that chain, that would have been Dokdam dead. As okay, they have all of the traps set up as Canyon dashes into the pit. Looks to take down a ward here at the back as Gumayusi's in trouble. He flashes to get himself out of the way as now it's Bertle's turn to dive on in. The Vanguard's edge is there and the Gwen is already dead. The cat goes down as well as Faker is tidying this one up. Showmaker looks for one more, but there are so many chains to throw onto this Crocodile and he's the last man standing. He wants to get something back, but he's not going to be able to. That's the ace for T1 and they'll take a Baron.
Perfectly executed there, even with the flank being found, it's not enough from Damwon Kia. You see the limitations that this composition run into in the late game. It's Faker really, really showing the lack of health bars on this team. Everyone is squishy. And yes, Showmaker eventually finds a big flank. Kenny needs to go into his Zhonya's very, very early. Faker finds his way out of the pit, and now it's Bertle and Canyon that are tanking, right? With the Zhonya's, it's easy setup for Guma. Dokdam can't get enough done. And then it's the easy cleanup on this Crocodile for the rest of T1. And honestly, that might have been it for the composition of Damwon Kia. They have gotten so much mileage out of it. But
yeah.
At some point, the party's got to end.
Well, the party was at about the 23-minute mark. The party got to about 4.k worth of damages. And since then, T1 have tidied up the the parents' place where the party was happening. Paintings back on the walls, vases have been repaired, and they're in the green yet again.
Yeah.
It certainly was. Oh, crocodiles going for walks. Absurd.
And here you see one of the core issues that, outside of specifically Showmaker, ways to lock down LeBlanc are there technically, but like trying to hit a flawless duet. Or Deadly Flourish on that champion is extremely hard. And again, Damwon Kia, you got to go in. Don't know when, don't know how, but you got to find a way.
Oh, Faker just popping some traps here as he moves on around. Canyon doesn't have his mist available. Faker slinks back into the fog of war. Showmaker on the flank. Will get spotted. There is so much vision. T1 have done their homework this time around. We do have pings to come through from T1. They know that there could be this base being closed in on as Showmaker. This is not the position that you want to be in as Faker possibly caught out. Distorts, gets himself out of the way as Gumushi just does so much damage.
Yeah, he's really fat. I wonder how that happened.
Well,
as the trade-off starting to look less and less worth, third Drake, sword point being picked up for T1. And it might be the morning after for Damwon Kia. They went, had a great party, didn't really get everything done that they needed to do. The Nexus is still standing. And I think the Kate and the LeBlanc now, barring individual misplays, are gonna have a field day with this comp of Damwon Kia.
Yes, well, they now have Soul Point. There's 4 minutes for Damwon to try and get their affairs in order before they go for another fight. Gold, not really a question. However, Damwon Kia have a very eccentric composition, and that is part of the issue here. They also have 8 turrets that they've taken. T1 have only taken 4. That's a lot of standing gold on the map, so this gold lead can balloon very, very quickly. As Canyon slinks into the mist once again. Once again, it is on cooldown. Doctarm just wanting to get some of this wave clear in, but you can see this turret does not last long. If Gumushi's anywhere near it, Ona gets the knock up onto Bertle. There's the Vanguard's edge. A fair bit of damage as well as Canyon trying to get the work done. Manages to grab one of the kills, but the Aurelia is already dead. And the Gwen wanted to get the work done. Not going to be able to do so as Faker buys all of the time that they need. That is the ace, and that will be T1 getting their revenge on Damwon Kia.
Party's over, Atlas. Took them a while, but T1 going 6-0 here. Right now, looking like the strongest team that we got here in the LCK. Damwon Kia, they tried their best.
It was not enough, absolutely. They were coming off a couple of wins, but it was not enough to prepare them for this. Utter domination from T1. Yes, I mean, I felt like Damwon had a really cool idea in that last game, but it wasn't enough to actually get them over the line against T1. And honestly, watching Faker play the LeBlanc in those skirmishes, in those micro moments around the map, that was what we fell in love with when it came to Faker's LeBlanc all those years ago. And it's just amazing that it is still there.